Hi there everybody and welcome to this, my second blog entry. In this one I'll talk about how I became a sailor and some of the opportunities that I've had through Bolton Sailability and through Sailability nationally. I've always had an active mind and I've always thrived having a challenge as I'm a very driven person. I spent years in mainstream education as I studied academically, which kept my mind occupied. When this came to an end, I tried to fill my time up with other things like going to the pub and going shopping, but after a while I soon got bored of that. Well, I was beyond bored actually. So I very soon realised that I wouldn't progress unless I could find a route that I could go down as the things I was doing were meaningless and it just all felt pointless. So I was never really interested in sport, although I have always enjoyed the outdoor activity holidays on offer for disabled people from places like the Calvert Trust and Bendrig and things like that. So I decided to have a look on the internet, see what there was, and found Sailability. So then I went for a tasting session with Sailability, absolutely loved it, felt free of my disability and all its restrictions, and very soon realised that this was the route that I've been looking for, the perfect solution really. So Sailability is a national organisation. It gives disabled people of all disabilities and all ages the chance to experience sailing. So each Sailability site across the country operates in a similar way, although the frequency of the sessions may vary depending on what site you go to, as it's all run by volunteers. Without volunteers it just wouldn't run. So and they offer slightly different things. Some Sailability sites offer individual sailing and other Sailability sites might offer more group-based sailing. So at Bolton I sail what's called an Access 303 dinghy. Now I can sail either double-handed, which means I'm in a boat with somebody else, a crew, and I'm the helm, or I can sail single-handed, which means I'm in a boat on my own. So for those of you that are not familiar with sailing, in sailing terms, when you sail double-handed, you've got the helm, they control the direction of the boat, and you've got the crew, and the crew set the sails to the wind direction and they look out for any danger. So obviously when you sail single-handed, you're responsible for everything. You're responsible for helming the boats and setting sails, so you've got to be very good at multitasking. So although I'm normally very good at multitasking, I can't see much anyway. In fact, when I'm sailing I can't see a damn thing. So fortunately for me, but unfortunately for the safety boat crew, I rely on them for course direction and positioning of other boats and sails on the water. Now it's a bit of a standing joke. Fortunately for me, all the other sailors at Bolton know me very well and know of my difficulties, and I've learnt to move out the way very quickly. So on a standard 303 dinghy, which is the boat that I sail, the rudder is controlled by the tiller, which is just a joystick control, which simply you push left to go left and right to go right. Now this sounds easy enough, but it does take a lot of strength in your arm to move the joystick control on a standard boat, which I've not really got. My left arm is extremely weak, coupled with the fact that I can't sit independently either, so it's all a bit of a challenge. So when you're in a boat that's heeling from side to side constantly, it's really quite amusing as whoever's crewing from it sat at the side of me tends to get squashed. So for those of you who know me well, you know I like a challenge, and you know I wouldn't be happy with just a cruise on the water as a passenger in a boat. So then the challenge was set, how would I be able to sit upright in a boat and be able to sail it for myself? Well, I started off just being wedged into a double-handed boat with bits of foam and padding, trying to helm it as best as I could. So between falling onto my crew and then my crew having to haul me back upright again, the little bit of sight that I do have was compromised by the fact that I couldn't actually see where I was going because I was constantly falling over. Just a little problem for me to overcome. So Warren Price at Bolton's Sailing Club, who initially set Bolton Sailability up, likes a challenge and he won't be defeated, and I'm certainly a challenge and a half. So after some time, Warren and other people involved within Bolton Sailability managed to obtain a servo joystick control which can be operated by me just using one finger. So it works in the same way that a standard tiller would, so you just move it left to go left and right to go right. The joystick is colour coded on the bottom, so it's red for port, which is left, and green for starboard, which is right. So you also push the joystick away from you to let the sails out and pull it back towards you to pull the sails back in again. So I tend to use the colour codes which are painted on the servo controller itself to navigate. So the safety boat crew will give me directions using the colour codes. So I also have a hard moulded seat in the boat, which enables my body to remain upright and stable during sailing. So at last, finally, we cracked it. Due to my visual impairment, however, in competitions I do sail with a crew in a double-handed boat. The crew is able to give me course direction and positioning of other boats and sailors on the water. However, we have ordered a smaller plastic moulded seat that we're going to trial, that will hopefully fit in the double-handed boat with myself and a crew in the boat together. So we'll see. So through Sailability, I've gained many friends, and I now have a full and active social life and a very, very busy calendar. I initially started sailing for leisure, but as you'll know by now, I like a challenge, so I decided to pursue sailing at a competitive level. So I've competed at the Rutland Multi-Class Regatta twice. Last year I came fourth, and this year I came second. I've also competed at the Hansa Nationals this year, which was a very steep learning curve due to the very high standard of sailors. But I had only competed in one national race prior to competing at Notts County, so everything that I learnt from Notts County I was able to put into practice during the multi-class at Rutland, and that's what enabled me to come second. For anybody that's looking to try something new, sailing is a very inclusive sport as the equipment can be adapted to suit anybody's needs, no matter how severe your disability is. You can even sail a boat just using your breath. I've been sailing on the Isle of Wight at Natasha Lambert's Sip and Puff Sailing School, Miss Isle. Check it out if you don't believe me, it's magnificent. So I hope this inspires you to give it a go. It doesn't cost a lot to be a Sailability member. It's very inexpensive and you'll get a lot out of it. It's very challenging mentally, physically, and it's very sociable. You'll meet lots of new friends, new people, like-minded people. Yeah, give it a go. So everybody, please share this video. Please feel free to comment and please ask me any questions that you want. I'll answer anything, you know. So yeah, feel free and see you soon.